and welcome to episode 71 of Movies and Us. I'm TJ.
And I'm Marcus.
And this is the review show that reviews genre movies from the beginning, sometimes. Especially sometimes.
I don't get... I don't get it.
See, that's what you get for eating on stream.
I did it before.
Today, we're covering the 2010...
What episode number is this, TJ?
71. I said that.
Did you?
Yeah, it's in the intro. Hello and welcome to episode 71 of Movies and Us.
Oh, I just zoned you out.
Today, we're covering the 2010 release of Jonah Hex.
Yeah! Finally! God, I've been waiting for this review.
You were actually waiting for this review.
I was being sarcastic at that moment. Yeah, you're right. I was kind of waiting for this.
You were kind of ready to get into this. This is one you never saw.
Yeah, I never saw it. Heard nothing but bad things. Like, how can bad kids movie be?
Spoilers, not as bad as people say, but not very good either.
No, not at all.
Alright, so it's directed by Jimmy Hayward, screenplay by, I guess these are two different people here?
Yes, Mark Neveldine and Brian Taylor. So Neveldine and Taylor, yes.
I got Neveldine and Taylor. I don't even have the first names.
Well, hover your mouse over the names, you'll see.
Oh, I see. Don't care. Anyway, it was produced by Akiva Goldsman and Andrew Lazar. It stars Josh Brolin, John Malkovich, Megan Fox, Michael Fassbender, Will Arnett, Michael Shannon. That's actually a big
Michael Shannon was in it?
Yeah.
Where the hell was he at in this movie?
He was the...
What?
When in the fighting pit, the guy that was running the fighting pit.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They wasted Michael Shannon on that?
They got a big cast list there, and a lot of it was just wasted, so...
Wow, yeah, see that Doc Cross Williams. What a We'll get into it, but wow!
Anyway, we also had Wes Bentley, Aidan Quinn, Lance Riddick. We also had, these are mostly cameos and stuff, but we had John Gallagher Jr., Tom Wopat.
John Gallagher Jr.?
Yep.
Like Mr. Gallagher, the guy who did Watermelon thing, right?
I don't know who that... I know who you're talking about. I don't think they're related, though.
No?
No. Tom Wopat, Julia Jones, Jeffrey D. Morgan. We saw him last at Watchmen. And I don't know why this is in the cast list, but apparently Thomas Jane. I don't know if you know who he is.
He was Punisher.
Oh, was he Punisher?
Yes.
Oh.
There's been a lot of comic people in this movie.
Well, he petitioned for this role, even like going as far as sending himself in makeup.
He would have been... I'm glad it wasn't him. No offense to him, but I'm glad it was Josh Brolin.
He didn't get this role, but he does do the voice of Jonah Hex in one of the... Did you watch the Speckers short?
Oh, fuck. I was going to do that, TJ. We should, pause this. I should watch it real quick. How long is it?
10 minutes.
God damn, you should have texted me.
I did.
God, you know what? No, what I'm going to do? We're going to do this podcast. No, because I don't want to talk about it by myself. Damn it.
Well, here's the thing. And one of the animated movies coming up, there's another DC showcase starring Jonah Hex.
Is it the next one or the one after? When is the next one?
I have to go look at my movies. But Thomas Jane apparently is voicing Jonah Hex in that.
Next week. Damn it.
Yeah, the next movie we're covering has that short in it, the Jonah Hex short.
Okay, I will watch the Spectre DC showcase. God, I was going to watch this week. I'm so upset with myself. I'm going to watch that for that.
You might as well watch the Jonah Hex one, too.
I am. I'm going to watch both of them.
Because if it's anything like the last one, it should be really good. But I'm not promising anything.
Yeah, we'll see. But damn it. I'm upset with myself.
Anyway, that was the cast list. I think we did.
Yep. Get to my favorite part, DJ.
No, I'm actually going to do the behind-the-scenes stuff first because there's not a lot to it.
There's not a lot to anything in this movie, TJ.
So, there's nothing. The only real things is there was the band Mastodon scored the film. Not that it was memorable to score.
No, but it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I thought it was a little weird to get a heavy metal band to score what is essentially a Western movie, but okay.
Well, it's supposed to be a dark, edgy Western movie, TJ.
I said this off screen, but this movie is not supposed to be a dark, edgy. It's more of a Wild Wild West kind of movie.
But but a dark, edgy Wild Wild West.
Not really. There's nothing dark or edgy in this.
Because this movie had issues in that aspect.
I mean, I guess it tried to put dark in anything, but it just came off as silly.
The idea of this should be it should be a dark, heavy movie. Not dark, heavy movie, but no, this is like a TV movie, if anything.
Yeah, but like the guy who directed it, as you said, did like Horton Hears a Who and stuff. So what do you expect?
Okay, he did Horton Hears a Who. Let me get back to this thing real quick. Horton Hears a Who. Some Freebirds movie. Like I guess it's like what's that game you play? The other bird game. Angry Birds, kind of like that. It looks like. Then he did Robots, is another animated movie. So this is mostly animated stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the movie is critically panned. It's got 12% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is a little harsh, but
Yeah,
and
I
stuff
agree.
like that. But it also failed so bad at the domestic box office that it had a limited worldwide release.
Which I think I still find that like another thing that just blows my mind. Like you think they would somehow recoup money by just releasing it fully?
I mean, we'll get into the numbers in a moment. But the reason why in my theory, the reason why it failed as bad as it did,
Why?
it released the same day as Toy Story 3.
Well, that too. Too, yeah.
Come on. That was a stupid move.
Well, it's not a stupid move if you have a competent movie, and this is an incompetent movie, though.
No, I mean, this was not in this middle of superhero craze. Sure, we have the Iron Man and Iron Man 2, but at this point, superhero movies are like, oh, they're cool, but they're not like the everything at this point.
Yeah, for sure. But like word of mouth would have gotten like, hey, let's take the kids to see Toy Story.
Didn't we already did a box office for this?
Yes, but this 10? One's special.
Yeah, I know. Hold on.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And the top 5 were kids, or top 10 all kids movies. Right now, kids movies are dominating. You don't really go up against Toy Story 3.
It was Toy Story 3, Alice in Wonderland, Harry Potter. Well, that's number 4's Inception. That did damn good. That's not an adult movie. But then again, that's followed by Shrek Forever After, The Twilight, and then Iron Man 2, and so on.
Yeah, but I'm sure Inception and released the same day as Toy Story 3.
No, I think it's like December or something.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it would have done good. I don't think Iron Man would have done good against Toy Story 3. I'm just thinking if this was a competent enough movie, word of mouth would spread. Like, okay, we go see a kids movie this week. Next week we'll take them. Or the day after we'll see Jonah Hex or something.
I'm saying it released the same day as Toy Story 3, which means it's opening weekend box office, which could have been way better if it didn't release that because no one knew what the movie was at that point.
Yeah. They should have pushed it back a week or pulled it a week earlier.
Yeah.
The 1 week would have made a difference. I agree.
It could have made double its opening weekend, is all I'm saying.
Oh, man, that's sad.
Anyway, and another thing in this movie's advantage, honestly, it's only an hour and 21 minutes long.
Oh, I saw that. I was like, thank God. It's like 20 minutes into it. Like, how much more time do I have left? Oh, I have an hour. Nice.
This movie just gets its story done. It goes in and it gets out. So.
Yes. The little story it has, it tells it real quickly. Like, oh, thank goodness.
All right, now let's get into the disastrous numbers here. So
disastrous numbers.
It had a budget of $47 million.
$47 million.
And which is surprising to me because the CG effects aren't that great in this movie.
No, and these actors aren't big enough. Maybe Megan Fox was. The little we see of her. Like, these actors aren't big named enough, I guess, at that point to make it.
I don't know. Michael Fassbender and...
yeah, but at this time, Fassbender wasn't Fassbender. Brolin was kind of Brolin, but even then, Brolin's Brolin until, like, when? So, like, these are names, but not...
you have John Malkovich.
Him. I think the money went to him, probably, for sure.
And I would say Will Arnett, but he only is, like, in... like 2 scenes too.
Exactly.
Anyway, but yeah, so it had a $47 million budget. It only made $11 million worldwide.
$11 million! That's so abysmally bad.
Yeah.
You understand how terrible that is?
That's not even a quarter of what their budget was.
I would put a bet on that the first Captain American TV thing we saw probably would have made more than that box office wise if it was released.
I mean, yeah, probably.
11 million is nothing. That's like an episode of Game of Thrones, probably.
Well, these days.
Yeah, that's just, it's so bad, it doesn't even land in the top 200 on Box Office Mojo, TJ. That's how the lowest ranking number is 18 million.
Okay.
That's bad. And these are movies I've never heard of before.
So doing from 200 to 190 to see what beat it is what we're going to do, I'm assuming.
Yeah. At 200, a movie called Green Zone, the 2010 re-release. Never heard of it.
Nope.
At 199 is a movie I heard of called 13 Assassins. I think it's like an Asian ninja movie. Don't know. At 198, Head Over Heels. At 197, Norwegian Wood. Sounds like a bad porn movie. At 196, The Servant. Oh, 195. It's a pretty okay movie starring Ryan Reynolds. It's called Buried. Have you heard of this one?
Nope.
He is stuck in a coffin buried under the ground.
I can guess what the premise is by the name of it. But
Yeah, it's literally that. It's literally him in a box acting for an hour and a half.
Wow, that sounds boring.
It's genuinely good. It's genuinely good, trust me. It's better than you would expect. At number 194, Hot Summer Days. At 193, Youth in Revolt. At 192, Another Year. At 191, Hello Ghost. And at 190, Trick the Movie, Psychic Battle Royale.
Like, I don't even know movies in the top 20. I couldn't even, so you can't even get me to know anything.
No. Oh, another John Malkovich movie came out this year, placing at 38. A movie called Red. It's another one we're going to get to, TJ.
Red?
Yeah, it's about old retired CIA agents.
Oh, it's in the other list.
Yes. But yeah, but that's how bad 11 million is. Let's even give you a top 200 list.
Yeah, I think this might be the first superhero movie not to make the list.
The first one I guess released in theaters.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Is that it? You're done with your rant?
I want to talk more, but I know next week we're going to talk about the box office again, so I don't want to spoil all the 3D releases and the sequels and the A-Team remake at number 40. Yeah, I don't want to talk about anything else. Unstoppable at number 43. It's a train movie with Denzel Washington and other people. Chris Pine's good movie.
Unstoppable?
Movie. Yeah. You like to have seen it?
No, I'm thinking, for some reason, when you said Unstoppable, I think I was thinking of Invincible.
Is that Mark Wahlberg in that one? Or Matt Damon?
It's not even the movie I'm thinking about. Yeah, Invincible is the freaking Mark Wahlberg Philadelphia Eagles kicker one.
Yeah, that's
not even the movie I was thinking of when you said that. That's just the name that popped in my head. I was thinking of Unbreakable.
Oh, Jesus. You're way off. The Bruce Willis, Samuel Jackson one?
That's the movie I was thinking of, but that's not the name that I got. But,
wow, okay. You're like 3 over, but it's okay. We got to it. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do for the box office. I think they should have just the same thing they should have done with Batgirl. Just release it and make something back. Even if the theaters don't want it, which I assume the theaters are still gonna want it, just release it. Hey, I hope we get something out of it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
you said A, and I was waiting for a B because
did I say A?
Yeah,
and B. Revert or go back to A. That's
okay.
It.
Yeah. When you start listing letters, I expect the list.
I said A?
Yes.
I should A do that. Yeah. I don't know. B something. I don't know. Want to get to this?
Do I want to get to this movie?
I know we both we both tolerated the movie. We're going to review this and we're going to hate it at the end of it, I think. I think we're going to be like, well, this is stupid. And you know what? This is actually a 1 out of 10 out of instead of the 5 we originally gave it or something.
We'll see. So I don't have any trailers for this one, even though I do have the Blu-ray for it.
It's so bad they didn't even put trailers on
it. They only gave me cigarettes are bad commercial.
That's funny.
So
not even like no piracy, just like cigarettes are bad.
It was like that one where they show the different cigarette commercials, the Camel, how it looks good, and then at the end it's the cancer guy. It's like, this is what it really does to you. But yeah, that's all I got. I think we're out of preamble for this movie.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about. I'll say this: I think Megan Fox got undeservedly a bathroom of Razzie nomination for this movie, just because she's not in this movie enough to even warrant her nomination as a worst actress.
Yeah, up until the climax of the movie, I was like, why is she even in here?
Yeah, she's in there for 3 scenes beforehand. Then you forget she's in it, and like, oh yeah, she's in this. Now she's good. Now she's like a device.
Well, that's my whole point. She was nothing but a plot device.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, I guess they did use her more than 3 scenes.
And then she rides off to the sunset with them for reasons. Like,
but she does it.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell? But again, that's like what a character they wasted. Like, they wasted all the characters in this movie. Besides the main villain, I guess. He's like the most developed, ?
Kind of.
Yeah, we'll get.
So comic book wise, this is like loosely based on the character. Only obviously Josh Brolin's character, Megan Fox's character, and John Malkovich's character are actual characters from.
So her character was a real character. They just didn't know what to do with.
Well, they actually changed all 3 characters.
Okay.
So, like, completely changed them. Oh, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character was also from the comics, but
Jeffrey D. Morgan.
Yeah.
The guy from Walking Dead.
Yeah,
Supernatural.
when
What's his name?
I brought him up earlier, you just kind of waltzed right over it. I was like, oh, I guess you don't care.
No, because I was more surprised Dodd was in this damn movie. Jeffrey D. Morgan's in this movie?
Yeah, I said
Who did he play?
I was like, I said we haven't seen him since Watchmen, and you're like, I'm too focused on John Gallagher Jr., so I was like, okay.
That's what it was. Yeah. He's in this movie? Who did he play?
He's John Malkovich dead son.
John? No, not Gallagher. I'm talking about Morgan.
Yeah, no, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is John Malkovich's dead son that he digs up and talks to.
That was him?
That was Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What a waste of good cast, people. Good actors wasted.
Yeah, I'm partial to Jeffrey Dean Morgan myself. But yeah.
You literally have Zod in this. You have... Who's John Malkovich in the MCU? He's something, isn't he?
John Malkovich in the MCU?
Did he play in the MCU or DCEU?
I can find out.
I feel like he's in one of these movies. If not, I'm surprised.
No, his last credit is red.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. That is awards.
We have Magneto, Zod. You have all these big names. You have Thanos, like literally all the MC people, and it's just like wasted. Willow Dark's Batman in the Lego Batman movie, for damn sakes.
But yeah, I didn't think I recognized him from any of the.
He's got that vibe that he was in one of these movies. But okay.
Yeah, no, I don't see him.
And Jeffrey D. Morgan. Who would have thought? Well, yeah, if only I paid attention to you, TJ.
You were too distracted by the other stupidity you were doing. What was I talking about before you all?
You brought up Jeffrey D. Morgan because I was freaking up.
Oh, he was a comic book character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're the only four that are actually characters in the comics. I mean, and they're all changed except for Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character because I mean, even his backstory is a little changed, but he's a plot device. And he always was.
Hey, the guy who is in a movie called, his name is Rio Hackford. He plays IG-11 in the Mandalorian series.
I don't know who you're talking about.
It's a robot, and you see Mando, right? The
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the first. I don't even know who you're talking about.
I was looking at people's IMDb pages now, and it's like, oh, one lady, Julia Jones, was in the Mandalorian series, but then I see that guy was in the series too. The only reason I mentioned because he's dead now. So yeah, hey Marcus, call this out, okay?
Yeah, no, you weren't listening to my comics part of it, so it's fine.
Yeah, and I was just working on IMDb now.
Anyway. You ready to jump into the movie proper?
Hell no. Yeah, I'm ready.
So we open up with kind of a DC thing with Jonah Hex, but it's only like one panel.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to do their version of Marvel Flip. I was like,
They kind of gave up halfway through it. I was like, yeah. That's what it felt like anyway.
Maybe they were afraid to get sued. Like, we shouldn't do this. We're going to get sued.
I don't know. Well, that's what they did. And then we, I'm trying to figure out where we open here.
The Civil War.
Yeah. The Civil War is before the main credits. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we open up with Jonah narrating his past, essentially.
And this is where I had the issue, TJ.
Go for it.
This should have been the movie. Because if you're doing the origin story of someone character like this, you can't just jump into him and just like feel bad for him because we're going to tell you why he's like this. No, show me why he's like this. Don't give me a voiceover narration over some clips that vaguely show his past and then allude to it somewhat through an hour and a half movie. Make me care about this character and his family and his villain. Like, oh, I hate you because I have to hate you. You hate me because family thing. Like, no, show me this stuff.
All right. Well, they don't explain what really happened.
Exactly.
And I only know because I read Jonah Hex's biography, essentially.
Exactly. So if you're going to do like an hour and a half of a movie, it doesn't have to be a comic book movie. If you want people to care about the characters, give them reasons to care about the characters. Instead of just expositioning things and making like just telling them, show us.
So. All right, well, now we're going to have to go into comic history and stuff to really explain what the hell's going on here. Because
Thank you.
You're going to have, because you brought this all on everything here.
I had to, because like I was watching this and I saw this, like, they're telling us everything we should care about, but they're not giving us things we should care about. So now I don't care about this character in this movie. It's like kind of shitty because I want to care about this character. But yes, TJ, give me some comic book stuff.
All right, so Jonah Hex made friends with a bunch of people before the Civil War, and when the Civil War happened, he joined with them, and he was a Confederate soldier.
Yes. Confederate soldier. Yes. That's great. Cool.
He was a Confederate soldier.
And see, he's a Confederate soldier, and then like 2/3 into the movie, oh, I'm a black guy, and you don't like slavery. Like, was he supposed to not like slavery? Like, what?
Well,
but now that you tell me he's a Confederate soldier, like, oh, cool.
But he doesn't like slavery, and I'm going to get to that in a moment.
Yeah, well, that's great. That's like, yeah, Confederates were. Of
course, he was only on the Confederate side because everyone he knows and all of his friends were Confederates.
Oh, that's so cool.
And he doesn't like the government and stuff like that. He's against all that stuff. But when he was a child, his dad was abusive and sold him into slavery to the Apache Indians.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a slave. So that's why he doesn't like slavery.
Oh my God, it's Anakin Skywalker. Great, got it.
So when the Civil War happened and they were fighting each other, his conscience got the better of him. He abandoned his platoon and went and surrendered to the Union soldiers, but he wouldn't give up his allies. But the Union soldiers kind of followed his tracks back to the camp and arrest everybody. But Jonah found like an underground passage or something underneath of his cells, and he went in to help all of his Confederate friends escape, but it was really a trap by the Union so they can slaughter all of them because they were running out of food to feed all the prisoners. So the escape was justification enough for them to shoot and kill all the Confederates, and only a handful of them got away, including Jonah. But because of what happened, the Confederates thought Jonah betrayed him, and so now both the Union soldiers and the Confederate soldiers all hate Jonah Hex.
Why isn't that the movie? Why not give the audience like, oh, we should like the Union. Oh my God, they're monsters. We are rooting for the Confederates. Weird. That's awesome. Oh, then they're both after Jonah for valid fucking reasons. This is good stuff for an origin story, TJ.
But the whole Civil War stuff, literally, 30 seconds of the explanation in this?
Yes, exactly. Everything you just said could have easily been a half hour. Like that's a good first act right there.
All right, now we jump into the movie with Jonah being tied to a cross, and
because you need Jesus metaphors in these movies.
Yeah, whatever.
They have to have these in these early 2000 movies.
And then
you get exposition of like the bad guy played by John Malkovich. You killed my family. Now I'm gonna make you show you. Like, don't tell us, show us, guys.
I'm gonna get to that too.
I know, but like, man, like,
so he's tied to. He's tied to
this is screenwriting 101, man.
So screenwriting can 101. I explain what's happening here so I can get through this? Because apparently this is going to be the longest part of this whole movie.
Yes, because it's
this first minute, essentially.
I told you off mic. Within a minute, I was upset with this movie. But yeah.
So John Malkovich's character is named Quentin Turnbull. So he has Jonah Hex tied to the cross and his family inside, and he's going to kill his family because during the escape, which is technically canon in this, his son got killed in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's going to take everything from Jonah.
And his son being Jeffrey D. Morgan.
Yeah, his son was Jeffrey D.
Morgan. Yes, a waste of a goddamn character and actor.
Jeb Turnbull. Problem with this is, Jonah Hex never had a family.
Oh, but they had to make him sympathetic for reasons.
Yes, this is the whole family thing was added into the thing. I mean, he kind of had a family, but not with this Native American woman. All right, so we have to go back into the backstory again here. When he was in slavery with the Apache Indians, he saved the chief's son, which endeared him to the tribe, and he became an adopted son to the thing, no longer being a slave.
Okay.
To the chief. The son of the chief didn't like this, was jealous, and they fell in love with the same woman.
Okay.
And so on their rite of passage to manhood at the age of 18, the chief's son betrayed Jonah and left him to die against other Indians, so forth and so forth. Years later, he comes back and finds that the chief's son is what the girl who was supposed to be wife, which is, I'm assuming, the wife in this movie because she's Native American.
Is she Native American?
The wife in the movie, yes.
Okay.
When they go back into the flashback things, they show a Native American woman.
Gotcha.
And he goes and he's like, he left me to die, and there was like no proof and stuff like that. So they say we'll do this by trial by combat, the chief's son and Jonah, but Jonah broke the rules somehow and stabbed the chief's son, killing him, which causes the tribe to give Jonah the scars on his face.
So just Quentin, whoever his name is, didn't scar him.
Yes, no.
Okay.
Because Quentin scars him, keeps him alive in this movie, so that it would be a reminder that he always...
Why keep him alive?
Because
so the movie has the movie.
So the story can have the story, essentially.
Like,
because
you think you would just let him, like, die and kill him?
For the same reason they gave him a family, for no reason to give him sympathetic stakes when you could have just as easily just not. You know what I mean? It's all bullcrap.
Yeah, it's just pure stupidity.
And
like, if you're really heartbroken over your family dying, you're going to kill that man, too.
Right.
Or at least keep him in your prison forever.
It's a stupid, typical revenge plot movie, and it's nowhere near as original as that. Like,
no.
They kind of combine a bunch of things into one story here. It's like, oh, he does all this.
Yeah, it's like...
And like
everything you just told me about the Native American, like, all that shit, and him being in the Rebels, like, everything, that could be the first movie. That could have been the movie. And it would have been a great movie.
Now,
keep the villain alive to go into the second one. I say make a franchise. That's how you make a damn movie, guys.
Now, even though Quentin Turnbull in the comics was like a returning antagonist, it wasn't this guy. It was just like he just went after revenge for Jonah for killing his son. You know what I mean? But he didn't kill his family and stuff like that. It was basic comic book plots. You know, he framed them for murder and stuff like that. This mastermind thing trying to destroy America that they're going on here, not in the comics.
Would you say off the mic it was Wild Wild West?
Yeah, Wild Wild West.
It is. It's like a watered down Wild West. Which, again, I don't mind the whole Destroy America thing at this time period. It's cool. It's a different thing they go for, but...
yeah, but it was literally created for this movie.
God.
So, and like, I just want to point out, I am not an expert of Jonah Hex. I did all this research yesterday.
If only in 2010 they would have done the same thing.
So,
they could have gone to the comic book store.
Like, I literally read one comic book of Jonah Hex, the first comic he was in, and that's all I did for this. And
that's all you did was one comic.
And then I read the Wikipedia page.
They literally read one comic book and they yada yada over the whole thing in 1 minute, and they did their own thing with it. Like, it's good enough.
So
assholes. That's funny. Oh man.
But yeah. But honestly, that's it for, like, his backstory is really the most interesting thing, because the rest of it is him just being a bounty hunter and stuff, and there's a few things that happen. We'll go into a little bit of comic books when we get to the other character that's from the comics, because everyone else is not from the comics at all.
God,
so
that's sad.
Oh yeah, so Turnbull kills Jonah Hex's family and scars him, turning him into Jonah. Well, he brands him, and we learn later that he does the scars even further. They erase the brand, essentially.
Yeah.
So, and then they leave him on the cross there. They keep him alive, but they leave him on the cross to die.
Right? Dumb. Why do that? Just kill the damn man.
Well, my point is, even if you go the opposite, they said, we're going to let you live, but they leave him on the cross to die.
Like, everything he said, it was just, like, contradictory himself. Like, it's just...
But, I get it. Some, like, they used to use crucifixions as executions back in the day, so it's an effective way to kill somebody if you really wanted to, but that wasn't the point of...
No, because it's the Wild West. You hang the man by a neck.
Well, like...
And do a slow
my
hang,
point
too.
is, that wasn't even the point. They wanted him to live.
I know, then, like... make him your prisoner. Keep him in your prison forever. Like, there you go. Like, there's ways of making him live and suffer.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so they leave him there, and then we cut into, like, an animated comic book thing explaining that he became a bounty hunter and he came close to death. Now crows follow him around.
Literally, the whole movie I would rather... because they say all this, and they say all this shit, and then they get to the scenes where that comes relevant, and they still expositions what the rules are. Like, give me a 1 hour and a half movie of all this, and I don't need the exposition. Like, oh... I'm holding this dead man. If I put dirt on top of your head, it just soothes the... No, man, you don't exposition this shit. You just...
know what's funny about all the supernatural stuff? Not from the comics.
Really?
Jonah Hex is just the outlaw, really good with guns. He has no powers.
And I like both tastes. I like that I like that in the comics, that he's originally just, I'm a badass dude. But and also like the supernatural shit. Like he could have a
I
girlfriend,
mean, yeah,
or maybe a character that does that for him. Probably a sidekick. Like there's ways of doing this
I didn't
properly.
mind the supernatural elements.
No,
It was just weird that they gave him superpowers for no
yeah.
reason.
Like
But
it's a cool thing to have. Like I need to talk to the dead and they'll tell me things. That's cool. It's cool. It's well executed.
yeah, in fact, the only Jonah Hex is actually blind in one eye in the
Mm-hmm.
comics, and he's still remarkable with both guns.
See,
So,
that's cool. God, what a waste.
but yeah, so yeah, the animated thing, we get the explanation about his superpowers, and which is pretty much him being able to talk to the dead when he touches a corpse. That's the extent of it. I think maybe not being able to be killed so easily too.
Yeah, because he does take his shots a few times. He can't die. But yeah.
I mean, I don't know. They don't really go into any of that.
And I think after like at them adding all, I think what they did with all this is they saw Ghost Rider and they saw Constantine and they saw whatever popular Western movie was out the time. Like, you know what? We should make all three of those together. And they got this.
If they saw Ghost Rider and Constantine, they should have ran away the other direction because those movies flopped hard too.
I know. That's why. And it's this movie, but this movie has the same feel as those movies.
Yeah, it does.
It has the emptiness of almost something, but like not there. It's just a bunch of cool ideas.
Oh, did you hear?
Through line. What?
Did you hear?
I'm afraid. Hear what?
They're apparently doing a sequel to the Constantine movie.
Oh, yeah.
With Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, huh, do we need this? But I kind of want it. Because I remember I was not hating the movie.
We came off like average on the movie, but
yeah, but we had our things like I don't think they should make a sequel to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Keanu Reeves though, so I kind of give a bye to anything he's in.
Same. It's like they got my ticket. I'm gonna watch it. But like, huh? Okay.
But that movie wasn't good, and that's not really a good Constantine. But whatever, as long as they keep what's his name out of it, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, they will. God, yeah, he was in that movie. Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
We don't need him. We don't need him coming back.
And that's Marvel or is that DC?
Constantine's DC.
Okay, so like I said, they're doing it so they can add him to the Blade and all that shit. But okay, yeah, I'm my curiosity is piqued. I want to see this.
But yes, you brought up Constantine. So.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what they saw that and they saw Ghost Rider and they said, let's make that a Western. Like,
wow,
sure.
We're like 3 minutes into this movie.
I told you, I was like, that's like, okay, audience, like if you guys could get past through that first 5 minutes of the movie, you probably can stomach the rest of the film. That was my biggest gripe of the whole movie, is like just exposition, and I'd rather watch that movie than the movie we got. That's all.
And then the animation thing, we finish off by finding out that the Turnbull was killed in a hotel fire, and he can't get his revenge, so he turns to bounty hunting.
And that's how you end the first movie. Yep, that's how you end the first movie. And now we're in the sequel, guys. The sequel.
And then we get the opening credits, and then there's a big Jonah Hex in the desert, and we actually get
how good would that be though? Thinking about like the first movie, Civil War guy conflicted with reality, fights Native Americans, like all that. It'd be a great first movie. And the second movie, he's a bounty hunter. What's going on? This is really cool. Power still. So I cut that out, Marcus. What? Like, come on. It'd be good movies.
Yeah.
If obviously executed properly,
yeah,
with confidence and shit like that.
My whole problem with it is you have the depiction of the Civil War and then the depiction of Native Americans and slavery, and you need a really confident storyteller to be able to do those.
Yes,
right.
But people like Civil War in history, especially if you're going against the Union. But like not glorifying the Confederacy, you're just focused on the guy, not the why they're doing the thing. And like I think, and like I said, Native Americans and slavery, if you balance that properly and not make it too cartoonish and too stereotypy, it could be a strong, solid movie, let alone comic book movie.
I just don't. The people that DC hires to do their movies, I just don't see it working, especially not in 2010.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially into 2010, because that was the era of the writer's strike. So
yeah,
I think that this probably suffered from that as well. So yeah, but I think doing it now could be done well. It could be done really well.
I don't know. DC's on fire.
Okay, let's not say DC. Let's take DC out of it. But doing that concept would be doing really
well. Yeah.
Look at Firefly. Firefly is pretty much a metaphor for the Civil War, and we're focused on the Confederate side of it. So that's a good.
Firefly.
That's Josh Whedon sci-fi.
I never saw it.
What?
No, I actually own the entire series.
TJ,
never watched it.
We should watch those. But it's essentially a metaphor of like the Civil War in space, and we follow the Confederate side of it, and it's
Okay.
really well. It's a popular series, and I think it's if you again done confidently and competently enough, it'd be an intriguing, fun, emotional ride. Okay, let me get off my pedestal. Let's get into the proper movie. I'm sorry.
It's fine. We're only 3 minutes in. It's okay.
God damn it, Marcus. It's supposed to be a short one.
It really was. Anyway,
I have a strong feeling we're going to yada yada over a lot in this movie, though.
So I did like the opening credits where they showed the giant Jonah Hex in the foreground and like the live action in the background walking like through it almost.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I just thought it was neat. I'd never seen that in a superhero movie before.
Oh, the giant Jonah Hex word. Oh, I see what you're talking about.
The giant Jonah Hex word.
I thought you meant like him giant. Like, I don't remember seeing that.
No, like giant like letters and then them going right from it. It's stylized. I liked it.
Yeah.
And we get the opening scene of Jonah Hex riding into a town with 3 dead corpses dragged behind his horse, which is kind of the opening scene from the opening comic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, they changed how it plays out.
Okay.
But like, and there was only 2 bodies, but this is essentially the first scene from the comic books here.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
So he goes into town and he's like, I killed your guys for you that was terrorizing your town. And the leader of the town's like, that's awesome. And Jonah's like, okay, pay me the bounty. And he's like, nah, we're going to kill you. And then Jonah kills them all.
Yep.
Giant gunslinging thing. Oh, this is where we find out that he has Gatling guns on his horse. And
that never come back again in the movie.
No.
It's just, I remember that being in the trailer too. Like, oh, that's cool. No, that's the only time you see it.
Yep. Nope. So his Gatling gun's horse kills all of the
not townsfolk, but the corrupt politicians.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at my notes.
Okay, I was thinking to myself, why did the guy say, "Nah, we're gonna kill you," and still have the money on him? Like he initially was going to pay him. Was like, nah, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, what changed his mind?
It's like 1800s. Maybe they didn't trust the bank. Maybe there doesn't look like there is a bank.
Okay. But then he goes, okay, then how about this? He deputizes some random citizen.
Hold on, we're not there yet.
Okay, because I had issues with this shit, too.
Because I forgot to mention, he brought the 3 bodies. They weren't going to pay him because he said he didn't bring all 4, and then he throws a decapitated head to him, saying he was too fat to carry on his horse.
I like that.
So, and then he was like, okay, well, we're not paying you, and then he kills him with the Gatling. And after he kills everybody and blows up the town, he doesn't blow up the town quite yet, but he deputizes some guy. He takes the sheriff's badge, puts it on him, and says, "Hey, good job," and then blows up the town. Just the house. But
why?
House.
Why?
Why what?
Why give a man a deputyship? Like, okay, you're the new warden, deputy sheriff. By the way, I'm gonna blow this house up now. It's your mess, because I'm an asshole. Why would you do that? Why blow the house up? Like, it's literally like, it's cool cinematically. Like, why do that?
Why blow up the house for the cool cinematic?
Yeah, it's like, I gotta run away in flames.
Because you have leaking gas, you can't not use it. That's why.
I was like, oh, it's so stupid. It's so dumb.
As for the deputizing thing, I don't think Jonah Hex has the authority to deputize anybody.
Exactly.
So I don't think it matters that he did that.
Well, the guy's mentally challenged. So he's not saying it's like, I'm a deputy.
But I also think it was just like he's got a soft spot for certain things.
Yes.
And we learned that later.
Yes. I thought the whole scene was stupid. It's like, why you blow the house up?
Well, right from the machine gun horse, I was like, this is silly.
Yeah.
So my expectations from the movie went from mild to super low.
Same. Like, okay, this is the kind of movie we're going in for, huh?
Yeah, this is like, oh, okay, I know what I'm getting into. So the explosion didn't bother me.
It's literally logic be damned, because when he reveals the Gatlins, like, the horse clearly never had them on him in the first place. I don't think a horse probably could carry that, but it just seems so impractical on so many levels. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's the train.
Is it the train? I'm trying to figure out what my next note says, because it says, oh, no, okay, yeah. So yeah, now we cut to the train and we learn that Jonah Hex is wanted because of a wanted poster that flies into the train for some reason.
Because segways.
And then we're on I wrote the train of Union because it's just a train with Union soldiers on it and civilians carrying dangerous weapons for some reason.
It was probably how they did things back in the day. Like, it's probably historically accurate, I feel. I don't know how, but like...
They they travel civilians with dangerous weapons and Union soldiers.
Yeah, how am I going to justify this? Like, I feel I'm just making an educated guess. Like OSHA didn't exist back. There's no regulations back then. Like, okay, wealthy people, Union people, and the dangerous weapons all at once saves time, saves money. I think that was the logic back then.
I guess you could have had the rich people, pay for the escort.
Yeah, that too, exactly.
I suppose that's possible, but I'm just thinking the Union probably has its own trains and stuff. Why would they be escorting a bunch of like rich people?
Yeah, I have no idea. This movie doesn't explain shit to you, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
I mean, question.
This is just here so that they can be killed.
Yeah,
because spoilers: Turnbull's gang shows up and robs the train.
And a fun chain robbery scene. I like trains. I love trains. No, it's not fun at all. I love trains. I love trains so much, TJ. So I'm sold on that point. Trains. I'm sold.
But yeah, so
they like two of the Union people like turn their hats around and masks fall out. That's really stupid.
Yeah, they were disguised as Union soldiers there so that they could have a drop on them, and they sacrificed them too.
Yeah,
because the Turnbull manages to detach the car, and he blows up all the civilians and the Union soldiers. Like, get blowing up the Union soldiers, but why did you kill all the innocent civilians?
No witnesses.
It's just literally to establish that Turnbull doesn't care about. They're trying to say this is the monster who does bad things.
Yeah,
ooh. That's all it is.
And the guy that blows it up is
Michael Fassbender.
Yes,
his name's Burke.
He's like the guy,
and he's an Irish stereotype.
So bad. Like it's just he's not like Lucky Charms, but he's very just Irishy. 1800s Irish. Is he a part of the comics at all, or no?
No.
Oh, of course. Just a terrible stereotype created by the people.
Yep. So, yep.
Now, to be fair, he does do the role really well.
That's fine. I mean,
he seems like a good actor in this role because he didn't go over the top with it. He just did just enough.
I got a major problem with his character towards the end.
Oh.
We'll get to that.
Ooh, I'm excited.
But yeah, I mean, they rob it, and then we cut over to President Ulysses S. Grant for reasons. Why?
Because Wild West did it, TJ.
Is that why? Oh.
I don't think it was Grant. Was it Grant? It might have been Grant.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting close to the centennial of America. America's going to be 100 years old, and but they find out Turnbull's alive, and I forget who the inventor was that created it. They credited it of creating this super weapon. But apparently there's a super weapon that was created, and they decided not to build it, but they didn't get rid of all the plans and stuff, so that's what essentially John Malkovich's character is collecting.
Yep. Doomsday weapons.
And so the President Grant's like, okay, we need to stop them. Go find Jonah Hex. Okay. I guess the government's incompetent, but whatever.
Yeah, why do you need Jonah Hex for? Just because exactly he encountered the guy one time?
That's exactly what his lieutenant says. Why do we need this bounty hunter? But I mean,
we have
whatever.
The goddamn United States government. Why would they need Jonah Hex for? Like, do they even know he's magical yet? I know there's like rumors of him being.
I don't think they ever know he's magical.
Yeah, so why the f do we need Jonah Hex?
Because he's a bounty hunter and a war hero, they said. Like, I was confused at first. I was like, are they portraying Jonah Hex as part of the Union?
Yeah.
But no, he was a Confederate in this, so at least I got that right. Even
then, why have him then? Like, he's an enemy of the state.
I'm just saying, it would have been almost like whitewashing if they would have made him a Union soldier. So wait, what?
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, after all that, we get introduced to Megan Fox's character, Lila Black.
Lila Black.
Who is a character from the comics. Only her name's not Lila Black, it's Tola Black.
Why change the name?
They wanted to, oh look, this is a character from the comics. At the end.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was...
So, funny thing is, Tola Black, not a prostitute in the comics. It's just another Wild West stereotype.
What is she in the comics then? They got Megan Fox, and I feel like every time they get Megan Fox in a movie, they have to show her being a lady of the night in some aspect because she's got a good looking body. So let's show it off, guys.
Well,
sex is Hollywood.
Tola Black in the comics was savagely raped and mutilated by men who murdered her family.
Jesus Christ, of course. Of
And
course.
leaving her with scars all over her body. So, of course, they're not going to show that in this.
Yeah, no.
Jonah Hex joins up with her and helps her gain vengeance on the people who did that to her. They become an item. Eventually, she gets pregnant with a child with Jonah Hex, a girl, but the girl is killed before she is born.
Oh my god, it's so dark.
Yeah.
And having a great sequel story. God damn it, I'm so dark. I want to see this, not as a movie, but as a TV show, TJ. Like, there's just so much potential with the Jonah Hex series.
Yeah, I mean, a Jonah Hex, the series kind of takes a lot of the weird turns, like when it goes into supernatural territory and stuff.
Yeah.
But like the pieces are there.
Yes. And I think the turns are just weird enough to keep the audience engaged for a season.
Yeah.
So like he's not popular enough, so like if you do change some shit, most people won't get pissed off about it. So like I think it's a good character to dive into that way.
But yeah, I mean, like the pieces are there. And I think it's 2010. I don't see them getting away with a lot of the stuff.
No, but I'm saying if they do it now. I'd love to see this now.
Like, there's a lot of stuff in there that can be done, like an HBO show.
Oh my god, TJ, how great would it be?
So
exclusive of HBO Max, I would watch the shit out of this. We should make this. Like, I was watching this movie, I was like, these are good concept and ideas throughout the movie. Poorly executed, but like as it's just like a 5-season show or whatever, however long you want to last and end it. I'd watch it. Especially because it's westerns, and westerns are always semi-popular and always cheap to make because from westerns. California's a desert, we're running out of water. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, but in this, she is not any of that.
Nope, she's Megan Fox.
She's Megan Fox. We learned that she's a prostitute, and we only really see her with one other guy besides Jonah. But Jonah,
how you gonna make her a prostitute? That's like so against her character.
I mean,
literally, she was raped and then scarred. Nothing about that will make me make that as a prostitute.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't think they looked at it from a comic book point of view. I think they looked at it as, hey, this is a Western. What do Western women do? Oh, they're prostitutes, so we're going to do that.
Damn it. Damn this movie, TJ.
And, oh, look, we got Megan Fox.
Exactly.
Hey, let's do this.
But let's have her on for only 2% of the movie, guys. Because I can imagine a comic book fan in the theater watch after it's like, I love Jonah Hex. They're finally making a movie. I'm like, what the is this? God. I'm sorry.
I don't know. You're pretty outraged for.
I'm generally not outraged. I'm just like highly disappointed by other choices they made. I generally have like no like this movie anger.
So detached from the comic book lore to this that I did even learning. I'm like, oh, that's cool in the comics. I might go back and read those comics.
Yeah, but
I wasn't mad at the movie for not following it. That's how detached from the lore I was from it.
No, and I wasn't. When I watched the movie, I wasn't mad at that. But now that I'm learning more about it, I just keep seeing the thing that I would rather see.
Yeah, but my point is, I'm not getting angry at the movie for not implementing this stuff. I'm just like, oh, I might go check out the good stuff.
Yeah, I was just upset. That's all. I was just like disappointed. Again, just disappointed this movie had decent source material and it chose to give us this.
Yeah, I mean,
literally, like I said, the first 5 minutes could have been the movie.
That's always the problem with movies, right? When they adapt something, it's usually because the adaptation is from good source material, and they just don't use it properly.
Which is just buying, like, oh, okay, we got the IP for a good product, for a good property. We got a blueprint lit in front of us. We got comics. These are storyboards. Let's do that, guys. No, okay, whatever. But you know, that's always been a complaint since day one. So, anyways, he gets in. The U.S. government breaks into the sex room.
Well, we didn't get to that part yet. But
oh my god, we're not there yet. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So Jonah Hex shows up, and we get the exposition that they're kind of together, kind of not. And then they sleep together, and the next morning, then, yes, the U.S. government comes in and tries and says they're drafting Jonah Hex into the U.S. military. He says no. And they're like, but Turnbull's alive. He's like, okay. And he goes with them. That's how that scene went. Anyway, so they take up to their lieutenant guy, and they're like, lieutenant guy doesn't want him there. And he's like, wait, we caught one of their guys, but he died during interrogation. Jonah says, I'm going to go talk to him anyway. But he's dead. I don't care. I'm going to go talk to him. So he goes over and touches him, and the guy comes back to life because apparently when Jonah Hex touches somebody, he can talk to a corpse. He can talk to the dead.
It's pretty cool.
And they can only... the shorter they've been alive, the quicker their body burns up. I don't know what the implications of all of that is, but okay.
It's so they can justify why he talks to his friend longer. That's why.
No, I just don't. Who cares? They're already dead, right? When you let go, they're gonna still be dead. What difference if if their corpse is burnt?
So the information he can get out of, I guess, once they're ashed, they can't get him again. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, but obviously it's painful for the corpse, but, like, does it do something? Does it, like, destroy their afterlife? Does it, like, send them to hell?
God damn it, TJ. Again, more things the movie shows you, but, like, I don't know.
That was my biggest issue with all this. And, like, because it's a big point at the end of the movie that he does this to somebody.
Yes.
And I'm like, but what does that do? Does that matter?
Couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
So that was my issue with the whole supernatural powers. They didn't explain it, and I didn't feel like there was any consequence to it.
Yeah, when you think, like, if you break it down, you're right. There's no consequence. Like, I can bring you back, talk to you, and you're gone.
Anyway, he talks to this corpse, and the corpse tells him this.
I guess it's a way for them to show, like, he can't do it forever.
No, I got you.
You can't keep someone around and, like, just talk to them and have an undead friend with them. I don't know. I don't know.
I understand that part of it, but I just don't understand it from
a lore perspective.
From a lore perspective, and from the dead person's point of view. Sure, they're in a lot of pain, but the moment they burn up, they're not in pain anymore. And if they're just going back to where they were, what difference does it make? You say, nope, let me burn.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that. Like, when a dead person gets brought back to this realm, while Jonah Hex is talking to them, do they, like, disappear from the other realm? Like, let's say there's, like, a bunch of them talking in this circle. Does the guy just, like, disappear? Like, oh, where'd Tony go? And he comes back, oh, Hex was, like, how's that work from that other side? I was just a lot of questions. A lot of questions about it.
What's even weirder is when he touches them and brings them back, their body, like, turns back to normal. They're no longer corpses.
Yeah.
They're like regular people.
I was expecting just a corpse to talk, but no, they're like humans again. Like, it's a cool effect. It was a cool effect.
But I was expecting more of, like, the Speak with Dead spell from D&D.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, but that's cool because it shows, like, oh, there's a hell. That's kind of scary. Like, there's actually, because one of the guys mentions they're talking about you, Jonah.
Well, that's the whole Constantine problem, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know, man.
Anyway, so he gets the corpse to tell him who hired him because he doesn't know where Turnbull is. He only knows the person that hired him. And then Jonah puts dirt on his head because apparently if you put dirt on their head, they don't burn up. So
for reasons,
you could talk to him forever if you just kept sprinkling dirt on their head.
I thought he was going to do that too. I was like, this is
so that there's really no problem with bringing your argument that this just shows they can't talk forever. Doesn't make sense if they could just put dirt on them.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Couldn't he just like do an instance where he digs up a corpse and just leaves the face unburied and the rest of them buried and just talk to them that way, and then they will never burn up?
Maybe that's too cartoonish for the director. He's like, I got
I'm just saying.
Oh man, I don't know.
They created the superpower for this movie. They can have any rules that they wanted.
Yep.
They didn't explain any of it.
Nope. Maybe they just thought it was cool. Like, I don't know.
Anyway, he's going.
You think it should be like a one-time thing for each corpse? I can't do it again with this corpse, so once I let go, you're dead for permanently. Like, I don't know, man.
Anyway, he's going southeast now. To Michael Shannon, essentially.
Oh, okay.
And during his trip there, we learn he scarred his face even worse so that he wouldn't have to look at the brand. Then we cut over to Charleston, South Carolina, where Turnbull is talking to some rich guy, I guess, who's helping him. Yeah, he's only in in 2 scenes.
He's his hammer. He's the funding and stuff.
He's the hammer, what?
From Iron Man 2. The guy's funding Whiplash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's just paying for all this shit.
Yeah, I guess he's afraid of Turnbull or whatever. Whatever. He's not important because he's literally in 2 scenes. So
yeah,
and he's just like everything's on track essentially. But I can't tell you where this last thing is. And then he threatens him, and then he tells him where the thing is. And then they go steal the orange balls.
The Dragon Balls.
The Dragon Balls, yeah. So Michael Fassbender steals the Dragon Balls from a bank, and I think.
Which would have been a cool scene to see.
Yeah, we just cut to them opening the safe, and then a bunch of corpses lying on the ground.
Like, that's a lot of dead bodies you guys took down for these Dragon Balls. I would love to see that happen, but okay. Sure, I'd rather see the dinner happen, I guess, then. Whatever.
We got to show that he's threatening this guy, because this guy's important.
Again, I don't have any true anger to it. This movie is just like, what a waste. It's a wasted opportunity.
So then we go cut to back to Jonah Hex, who goes
Oh shit, that is Michael Shannon. Oh my god, TJ. Wow. Damn.
Did you not believe the credits?
No, it was just like, who the did he play? Like, I do not remember seeing his, because it's just Michael Shannon. He's got a recognizable face and voice. But like, when you see it again, like, oh shit, that is him. Wow. I was more focused on that weird vampire thing they had.
It did look like a vampire from Blade 2.
Yes. I was like, why the is this thing here? Again, another cool idea. It's just like, why is this? Okay, sure. How did he come this way? But whatever, sure.
So Jonah Hex goes to a fight pit, essentially, where this big muscle-bound guy is fighting Nosferatu.
Yes.
Who I guess is getting superpowers from rattlesnake venom. Because he's like a snake or something. I don't know.
Or maybe he was a guy they tortured into, like, who believed in the, what do you call those guys who would go from town to town and sell shit? Snake oil salesman. He believed that kind of shit, like, got body modification. Like, this is cool lore. Let's get into this, guys.
I don't know. Anyway, the fight scene is not even important. We see like 2 seconds of the fight, and then Jonah Hex shows up and says, Michael Fassbender, tell me where... Or, not Michael Fassbender. Michael Shannon.
Not even Michael Shannon. It's some other dude telling him. It's the sheriff, but like it's not... I think it's like a no-name.
Huh?
It's not Michael Shannon talking.
Oh, yeah, he's interrogating somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, some dude was not Michael Shannon, because I would remember that was Michael Shannon. Anyway, sorry.
He's interrogating this guy and saying, tell me where John Malkovich is. And he's like, join us. And he's like, no, then you're going to die. Okay, I'm going to throw you in a pit. And he throws him in a pit. Does he tell him where?
I don't recall. I do not recall, TJ. He must have.
He must have told him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
No, he did it because he goes to the guy's grave.
Oh, right. He says, you go ask Jeb.
Yes.
I was like, oh yeah, okay, maybe I will. And then he throws him into a pit. And I guess he gets killed by the snake guy because we don't see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, as he's leaving, he sees that these 4 guys are just picking on this dog for no reason. And so he evens the odds, takes him out, and then the dog takes out the last guy. And now the dog's following Jonah Hex for some reason.
Fun fact, TJ, it's called the kick the dog moment. It's made popular in Western movies. So you the bad guy or some bad people harm a defensive creature, a dog usually, or some kind of thing that the audience members will like sympathize with. And so when the good guy comes along and beats up these bad people, you root more for the good guy in that situation, or even the bad or a hero who isn't truly a good guy. That's a fun fact for you.
Oh, I thought you kicked the dog because it was just fun.
See, audience, TJ's a bad guy now. And I'm not usually the good guy, but since I'm going to put TJ in his pit, I'm kidding. But that's what that is. That's a kick the dog moment.
Okay, whatever. I don't watch enough Western movies to know that trope.
This is doing everything. They did in Mandalorian when they were beating up Baby Yoda, because why would you beat up Baby Yoda for? Stuff like that.
Whatever. Moving on. Jonah Hex goes to the cemetery. The dog doesn't really go into the cemetery because of reasons, I guess. I don't know. And he goes in and he digs up Jeb, who John Malkovich's son, and hey, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's in this movie. And, you know, Jeffrey Dean Morgan beats him up for a little while, and then they finally talk, and he's like, hey, I didn't want to kill you. It just kind of happened, and they kind of make up, and then he's like, Dean Morgan said, I've been watching you both, and he's like, go here, this is where my dad is. They cut back over to Lila, who is having problems with her stalker, and she pulls a gun on him, and that's that.
Yeah, okay, what's that storyline? What's the point of that storyline?
Well, it's not there yet.
What?
That's just part 2 of the storyline. We got one more part before.
I know, but like, this is stupid.
Okay. And then we go to Jonah Hex's is M, not M. O?
No, it's M. From
Q.
You're right.
Q.
Who's M? There is an M, isn't there?
Yeah, M's the head of the Secret Service.
Oh, okay. Who's the guy who makes all the gadgets?
Q.
Who? Oh, Mom is M. Oh, okay. I'm thinking. Okay, got it.
Well, M's the leader of the Secret Service.
The female, Judy Jane Dench, right?
In the newer movies, in the originals, in the early versions, it's a guy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So yeah, it's Mom in that because of that, but you know,
yeah,
it's always been M, even in I think even in real Secret Service, it's M.
God, that'd be so cool too.
Anyway, he goes to his queue and gets crossbow explosive guns.
Oh, Q's the black slave guy, by the way.
Yeah, Lance Reddick.
Yes.
And he's like, "Hey, you got anything new?" And this is where they argue about, slavery and stuff like you were talking about earlier. And he's like, "Yeah, I got something new." And he gets crossbow explosive bolts, things that look like guns. I don't know. It looks like it should be in something like Van Helsing.
Yes, TJ, yes. Yes.
It was like weird here.
It just seems like this is such a pointless weapon to have.
I was like, are you going to go hunt vampires now? Right? I don't know what this is.
I mean, we saw a vampire earlier, so it would make sense. The afterlife is a thing, so
it just didn't fit in this movie. It's weird to me.
Yeah, I felt like this is weird. Not grenades or something for this. Okay. That black guy, he's the hotel manager in the John Wick series. So people who understand that kind of stuff can know.
Okay.
Just so you know.
So Jonah Hex goes to the place with the fort, and he's like searching for stuff while the bad guy's monologuing about his plan to destroy America on its 100th birthday because of the evil union.
Ugh. And monologue's just for the audience, because he's telling it to a guy who's been with him since day one. Yeah. So why are you telling him this? Oh, it's for the audience. Got it.
And meanwhile, Jonah Hex is discovering the plans and where he's going to be and stuff. And
the sloppy writing.
And it just gets to... Then they happen to run each other into a hallway when there was no one around. And then suddenly there's about 40 guys for Jonah Hex to blow up.
This is such a badly made movie.
And then Jonah Hex goes and defeats everybody, but then he gets shot in the chest with a shotgun by Michael Fassbender. And then he's trying to stay away from 30 more guys, and then he escapes on his horse and kind of dies on his horse along the way. And as he's running away, he's like having this his life flashing before his eyes, where he's fighting Turnbull in his.
Was that now or was that later?
That's happening now, according to my notes.
Yeah, it does. It's such a before that. Oh, it does happen. It was such a weird thing to have.
Yeah, so he's having a dream fight in his thing. Meanwhile, Turnbull is testing his new weapon on a town that he's going to destroy with Dragon Balls, and he does it. And then after that, we cut back to Laya. Started her epic conclusion of her stalker, where the stalker's like, "Haha, I'm the one that got Jonah Hex out of here. Now you're mine. You're gonna do as I say." And she's like, "No, I'm not. I'm gonna stab you." And then she stabs him, and that's the end of that epic thing.
It would be so stupid. This would be so bad.
So,
what's the point of that? Oh.
So essentially, the stalker was in love with her, and she's in love with Jonah, and he's possessive. So she's trying to take her, and she's like, "I'm not owned by anybody," and she kills her because
they finish off that story arc of her an hour into the movie. We realize, shit, we got 20 minutes left. This character's
I was like, is that all this character's here for this?
Right? Let's kidnap her and bring it in later. Then
that's what I was like. That was the only place it could have gone at this point. It's like we needed to wrap up this stupid plot line. We're like, we got Megan Fox here. We got to use her. I guess.
We spent this much money on her. We gotta get your worth out of her.
Let's throw her in 3 scenes with this one guy.
The guy has no fucking point in the story.
Except he's the one that told them where Jonah Hex was, apparently.
Yeah, but come on. God, stupid.
Anyway, while that happened, Jonah Hex finally falls off his horse and is dying, but now there's a different dog. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Why is there a different dog? What happened to the other dog? Because the other dog does come back later.
Because this is the Indian tribe dog.
Oh, this is the Indian tribe, because the Indian tribe comes and saves them.
I'm sorry, the Native American tribe.
Whatever. And so, and as the Native American tribe saves them, they start doing their ritual again that they did in the beginning of the movie to save them in the first place, because I didn't mention that they saved them in the beginning of the movie when he was hung by the cross and he was close to death until he got his superpowers. And now they're doing it again, and as they're doing it, he's reliving his past trauma of his family getting killed. Only we see the family and his son and stuff this time. And then is this where... Yeah, and then a crow erupts from his mouth for some reason.
Because that's the symbolism.
And his buckshot turns into goo moss on his chest, I guess. I don't know. Magic. Then he goes and sends...
Because brown people are magical because they're weird and different. We don't understand their culture, so it's just magic to us.
Well, there you go. And then then Jonah goes and gives a telegram saying, "Hey, come to this spot," which was pointless because we'll get to that in a moment. And then we get to the end of the movie essentially, where we get to the harbor because they're going to fire the Dragon Balls at the president's speech, but they got to go across the harbor in a boat to do it. And so Jonah Hex, before that, Michael Fassbender kidnaps Lila too because of reasons, because we need a damsel in distress moment, I guess.
Yes.
And then so Jonah shows up at the harbor and has an epic fight with what's his name? Michael Fassbender. Yes, an epic fight where they're fighting each other, and this is where this was stupid. There's about 30 guys up on that boat right above them, and no one hears this fight.
Yep.
Not a single person. And then Jonah Hex finally wins the fight and sticks his head into a fan, which kills him, but yet there's no blood.
Yep.
No decapitation, no nothing. His body is completely intact. Makes no sense.
That's so bad.
And when Jonah Hex kills him, he says, "That's for my wife." And then he brings him back to life with his superpowers, and then he punches him till dust and says, "That's for my son," as if that did something.
Right? Cool, because that last punch makes them disintegrate.
Yeah, it makes them disintegrate, but we don't know what that does, so it's like, is that revenge, or...
We don't know. Maybe he was rebirthed.
As far as I'm concerned, you're the only person that can do this power. It sounds like someone else is going to come and bring him back to life.
Right? So that was... Oh, my God.
So... Whatever, Jonah shows up and he's about to kill Turnbull, but Turnbull sees him, he brings like, "Haha, I got Megan Fox, you can't shoot me." And he's like, "You're right, I can't shoot you." And then they're captured. And so they're getting ready to, they start firing. Why do they fire cannonballs before they fire the Dragon Balls? I never understood that.
Again, they don't explain this shit. So what I'm guessing is the cannonballs have all the detonation in them. And I guess the big explosion thing in them, I guess. And I guess the Dragon Balls ignite them. When they're
I thought the Dragon Balls just ignited and blew up everything.
No, because like with the cannonballs land, it looks like they're slowly like melt the outer piece, the shell of them. It looks like it's dissolving and something's coming out of them.
Oh,
so I'm guessing them together with the Dragon Balls together make. I don't know the science shit. They don't tell you. It's just cool looking, I guess.
Anyway, so they're firing the cannonballs, and then Lila and Jonah are tied up, and Lila picks the lock and says, "Haha, look, I'm not just a damsel in distress." And they
even though she was the whole movie.
Well, not really, because she did take care of the stalker guy by himself.
Yeah, fair, I guess.
And then she's like, "Haha, my name's really Toa." So from the comic books, and Jonah's like, "Huh, okay."
See, I didn't know that beforehand. So, like, okay, your name's Tola, whatever. That means nothing to me.
Then I wrote, and then the U.S. military shows up with one boat and 2 soldiers. Why? Or did you bring one boat and 2 soldiers to just get blown up? Where's the rest of them? The president's about to be attacked.
So bad. I'm pretty sure we had a Navy of some sort by then, right? Yeah.
Coast Guard, to the very least.
Yeah, something.
That made no sense. And then we get the climax of the movie where Jonah Hex and Tola Black start killing everybody until there's only one guy firing the Dragon Balls to easily take care of Lila and hold her on the ground. And Jonah Hex fights John Malkovich, and Lila's is trying to reach for an axe to kill the guy up there, but nope, she knocks the axe down, which falls conveniently in front of Jonah Hex, which she uses to defeat John Malkovich. And then Jonah goes up and clogs the gears so the Dragon Ball can't fire. Goes up, beats up the other guy, and him and Lila jump off the boat. Dragon Ball falls on John Malkovich and explodes them, and the day is saved.
Yay.
So the next morning, I'm guessing, Jonah Hex is meeting with President Grant, and Grant's like, "Hey, you want to be a sheriff of America?" And I'm like, "What?"
This is literally Wild Wild West.
It's like, and Jonah's like, "No, there's no sheriffs of America, silly president." And he's like, "But if you need help later, I'll help you." And Grant's like, "Okay." And then he walks out, and him and Lyle look at each other and walk into the rainy dawn set because it wasn't the sunset. But that's not it, because then we cut over to Jonah at the cemetery talking to Jeb's grave. I forget what he says, but he says something, and he's like, "Okay, Now he rides off in the sunset with his dog instead, and that's the end of the movie. The end of
The
Jonah Hex.
end. Wow, what a movie, TJ.
I just kind of yada through the whole.
I told you. I knew at a certain point because not much happens. I think a lot happens, but like not much of that happens. It's like this be cool, this be cool, this be cool, but no like substance to the coolness.
They got in and out, just like I got in and out.
Whew. So that was so much fun, TJ. I'm glad we watched that. So we spent time together watching that.
Well, we've watched worse movies.
Yes, we have. So, what you gonna rate this thing, huh?
4.
Wow, that's high. That's really high, TJ.
Like I said, I'm so disconnected from it. I'm still at like meh. I mean, I was at a 5, but I didn't like come out of this.
You were at a 5 for this movie?
Yeah, when I watched it.
My God. Jesus.
I came out of it with like meh. I was like, it's okay. It was short. It was fine for what it was, you know.
Holy shit.
I really wasn't analyzing it.
Wow. I give this a 2. I'm giving this a 2.
I don't think it's a 2.
I'm not saying a 2 because after everything you told me, I just like lesson. It's a 2 because it's a waste of time of a movie. I can never recommend anyone to watch again. It's a 2 because there was so much wasted potential I noticed when I first watched the movie before even seeing or hearing the comic book lore to it. So it's like, this is like just things I could have been better and should have been better. So everything presented to me right now is just like blah. And I'm not angry at all about this movie at all. I'm not hating it. And it's just a 2 because it was blah.
Yeah, like I mean, there is no real emotion to it. And when there's no rage or no like praise to it, it's just average, and average is boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand that.
So it's like I'm a little below average, and honestly, not much below. It's because this is just a nothing movie.
Yeah. I respect that. It's just like you guys, they give us nothing.
Like 2s and 1. I would rather a movie give me a 2 or be a 2 or 1 for me than a 4 or 5. Because at least I'm angry and complaining about the movie. Like, this is going to be one of those movies it's later, it's like, whatever. You know, I won't think about it again. Unlike something like Wonder Woman we watch, and it's still the worst movie we've ever covered.
Oh, yeah, those movies, like the Wonder Woman and the other ones I really hated, those are like 2s out of anger. This is 2 because it's like, I saw the first 5 minutes, saw what it could have been, and I just shut out like, whatever, this movie sucks. That was me. That was my logic.
I just don't think it's a 2. I think it has to cross certain lines to get that low, and it just the movie doesn't cross any lines. That's the problem.
That's exactly the problem. This movie was just nothing. It was just, and that's why it's a 2 for me. It was just, it crossed no lines. It took source material after you told me, like, wow, I saw what it could have been beforehand. Then you fill in the more blanks. Like, it justified what my thoughts were. It's like, I'm not saying F this movie, I hope it burns. Like, it's not an evilly bad movie. It's just like,
So, like, a movie that's similar to this is Steel. Yeah. It's like right in that meh kind of territory, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is on the lower end, where Steel was on the higher end of that spectrum.
Yes.
So, because I think we gave Steel like a 6 or something like that.
There's no way you gave Steel a 6.
I think it was like a 6.
I had to give that at least a 5. Yeah, at least a 5.
5 or 6. It was like on the higher end because we didn't really judge it as a superhero movie.
Yeah.
But like, it's right in. It's in that centerfold thing for me, on the lowest end of it, and it's just like, it's a movie, you know what I mean? And it also doesn't fall into that category because it didn't really waste my time, because it wasn't long enough to waste my time.
But see, I think it did. I guess that's why I'm not angry either, because I guess it didn't waste my time either, but I still feel like I was cheated out of an hour 20. Like, I still feel like I was, like, because I'm not gonna lie, by the time we got to the climax, where they're on the boats, I was checking the time. I was like, I have 20 minutes left. Then I saw, like, 10 minutes of that is credits. So I have 10 minutes left. I was like, damn, so I got time left in this movie. Yeah, so I never was angry. It was just like this, again, just disappointment throughout the movie.
The film also kind of inspired me to go and look up Jonah Hex's backstory and find out little things that I wouldn't have done necessarily if this movie wasn't here. So it's like I learned about a lot about a cool character that I normally wouldn't even have bothered with.
I'll give you that. This movie does, like, everything you told me about. I do want to read the comics now.
So it's like I got, like I said, I just don't feel it's, for me, lower than a 4.
That's fair.
But you know,
Adequately fair. Yeah.
it's a movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I'm never gonna think about this movie again.
No, I'll never watch this movie again.
No, that's just got no rewatch value at all.
There's nothing to it. It's like whatever.
You think a
But,
movie
like-
with Horace McGowan going on it would be somewhat rewatchable?
Well,
Nah,
you know, at the same time, I'm glad that I finally saw it.
same. I have no regret watching this movie.
So
I guess I truly have no like negative feelings or positive feelings about this movie. It's just things I wish I could have seen. That's all.
Yeah.
So again, my 2's not out of hatred or anger. It's just damn.
yeah, I don't know. It just feels like your 2 is like the 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. You know, I think it's a little.
See, I think I don't know, not at all. I think that 12% is like the fact that they gave her worst actress nomination.
Oh, I know.
That is like being petty and assholes.
And I know you're not judging it based on that, but I just think it's a little too harsh. Is all I'm saying.
I truly can't give this a 3 or a 4. I truly, in my heart of hearts, cannot give this anything higher than a 2. I genuinely wish I could. I genuinely wish I could. But this is just nothing of a movie. So I like the Civil War. I like trains. I like cowboys and the undead lore shit. And I like it has so many elements of things I should like and love. And the fact that it went against all those things and have no hatred to this movie is like surprising to me. I have like nothing. So it's blah. It's blah. So yeah, that's Jonah Hex.
Yes, it sure is. All right, I guess we're done talking to these people.
Yeah.